talk about the best and worst contracts on the Nashville Predators books.
You're Locked On Predators, your daily podcast on the Nashville Predators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Predators podcast. Thanks for making us your first listen of the day. We are, of course, a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to kick off this episode the way we kick off all of our episodes, and that is with a heartfelt shout out to our Locked On Predators insider community and to our everydayers who tune in to talk Nashville Predators hockey with us. I'm Ann Kimmel. I am a writer and co-host who covers the Predators for Penalty Box Radio, and my friends, I have a partner in crime.
You do. I'm Emma Lingan, and I'm an NHL reporter and host for the Hockey News.
Well, Emma, it has been rough going for the Nashville Predators, but recently the franchise made a top 10 list twice. Unfortunately, it was the top 10 list of worst contracts in the NHL. On today's show, we are going to tell you the two deals that made the Athletics' worst contracts list. We're going to share our favorite contracts, and we're going to talk about some of the least palatable contracts on the Nashville Predators books. Before we dive into talking about the money, we do want to let you know today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures right now. All right, Emma, so excited for Nashville to make a top 10 list, and then you read the title of what the list is and you go, yeah, that tracks. That feels about right. Dom from The Athletic recently released two articles. One is the best contracts in the NHL, and the other, two Nashville Predators made this list, the worst contracts in the league. Now, look, here is what I will say is real, Emma. When an entire team collectively underperforms, that often means that individually players underperform. And so not super surprising that Nashville's making a worst yada, yada, yada list after the last season. But wouldn't it be so nice? Like, what's the top 10 list that Nashville would be at the top of? That would be like a good list after last season. Is there anything? Do we have anything going, Emma?
After, like, for last season alone, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty
top 10 daily podcasts.
Hey, there you go. Top 10 arena grilled cheese stands, probably.
100%. Now, I will say that I am telling you all, I know you think it's a joke. I am not underselling how good the grilled cheese is at Bridgestone Arena. I'm not underselling it. It's amazing. But we do have to talk about what is real. Again, we talked about this. Dom from The Athletic puts out these lists every year. These lists for best and worst contract, what he takes into account are things like the price, of course. The term is also a factor. And then he calculates the player's projected value over the length of the term. And there are 10 players that he was like, two of them were Nashville Predators. You're welcome. Number one on the list, not a Predator, Jonathan Huberdeau. God bless. Number two, Ivan Provorov. Number three, this one bothers me, Chandler Stevenson. This is the thing about it. You got to get the right player in the right place. Friends, this sport is not plug and play. You had big feels about him, and I don't think you were wrong about Chandler Stevenson. I
don't think I was either, but
you weren't. But here we are, being right and getting nothing for it.
We all have our cross to bear, It's hard being right all the time.
All the time. Speaking of crosses to bear, at number 4 on the worst contracts in the NHL right now, Nashville Predator defenseman Brady Shea. Of course, Brady Shea, $7 million AAV. The Athletic calculated his market value. This is based on his, different gauges of his production and just across the market based on how other defensemen played. His market value calculated at $2.6 million. And he has a 5% chance of becoming a positive value player. That is very doom and gloom. Dom says that Shea's deal looks like the worst of Nashville's 3 big free agency signings from last year, including Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, of course. Here's what's real about those 3, though, Emma. All 3 of them were overpays. And that's just what happens, especially when you have big name players of different positions on the market at the same time, as we did a la 84 years ago. How do you feel about this assessment of Brady Shea's contract?
You know, on one hand, I get it because, I mean, this is the one that I think a lot of people at the time that the deal was signed, a lot of people did not love it. Primarily because of the term. They're like, he's 30 years old and you're signing him to what, a 7-year deal. A lot of people didn't like that. And I understand that. Please hear what I'm saying when I say I get why people don't like that. I really do. But to your point, that's the price of doing business in free agency, or at least it was 2 years ago.
Right.
Now, here's the thing that I think people have to keep in mind. $7 million is going to look like a much better deal in a couple years because the cap is going to continue to go up each year. And like $7 million is not going to buy you what it used to. And I think that this is a contract that will end up, I'm not going to go so far as to say it'll age well, but I think it'll age better than people are expecting it to because of the cap going up. Because I think that, you know, now what you're going to start seeing for this exact same reason, because the cap is going up, you know, it used to be like the pinnacle of success as a free agent would be to get that 7-year max deal. Like that was it. Now I think what you're going to start to be seeing more of is sort of the Austin Matthews type contracts where it's players are going to want to sign shorter term, higher AAV because they know the cap is going up and they want to hit free agency again in a few years when they can potentially get even more. Now, meanwhile, you have the teams that are now fighting for those longer term contracts because they want to get guys locked up for a longer period of time at a smaller amount. So you're going to start to see a change in the landscape here. And I can't say what exactly that's going to look like because I mean, this is kind of uncharted territory right now. So it's like, we don't know for sure, but I do think at the very least that $7 million is not going to look as bad in a few years as it is maybe right now for Brady Shea.
Right. I agree with you. And it is such a unique time to be evaluating contracts because of just exactly what you're saying. 4 seasons from now, 3 seasons from now, this is going to look and feel different. Now, you still might not like the term. I will say this. Dom did say that he's likely too old to have a bounce back, to which I say, bite me. Okay, that's like my great comeback to that, because you had pointed this out a long time ago when it comes to Brady Shea. His first year in Carolina was a struggle, and then it clicked. And I think we can all say we saw Brady Shea improve, significantly over the course of last season. A lot of that was because he had to. He was literally the only guy. It was like Brady Shea was the most tenured Nashville Predators defenseman on the ice at the end of the season, bar none. So he really had to, he was thrust into that position. And I think what he did in that situation, especially with a rocky start with the team, that was reassuring to me. Like, I think he is getting it. And I do think he's going to pick up where he left off. what that's going to look like you said, 3 years from now may feel differently. The Athletic says that Shea's market value was likely closer to $5.7 million when he was signed to a $7 million deal. In that particular free agency, for what Nashville needed, with Ryan McDonough saying, I'm going back to Tampa Bay, it's been great. That's not a horrific overpay. It's not a horrific overpay. Is it an overpay? Yes, we do a little math here, but I don't think that it is horrific. You know, we do need Brady Shea to be better, but I don't know that I am as concerned about his on ice performance. I don't think that is big a deterrent to me about this being a terrible contract as it is the term. But again, the term is the price you pay to land the player in free agency. You know, that's the
least-
art of the deal.
At least at that time.
It was.
Yes. And I think I want to make sure we don't gloss over this, because you brought it up and it's a very good point. We do need Brady Shea to be better next year.
Yeah.
Hear what we're saying. No one is saying that he can just go out, look exactly like he did last year, and $7 million, it's fine. No, of course he needs to be better.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, who among us, who on this roster does not need to look better than they did last year? I think that's just kind of a given at this point. But we are operating under the informed assumption, not just a blind assumption, but an informed assumption based on his performance at his past stops in his NHL career, and based on his, trajectory last season alone, that he will improve. Like it will get better. Things will get better. And so I think, just based on everything we know, yes, of course we need him to be better than he was last year. But if he is better and if he plays to his full potential, I get it. I don't love the contract. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, this was a steal. Like I don't think I'll ever think that about this contract, but I don't think it's as horrendous as it's being made out to be.
I agree. I think a second season here in Nashville, if, like you said, our informed speculation comes to fruition that he will be able to perform significantly better in his second season in Nashville, I do think it is going to feel better. It will still cost the same amount, friends, but it will feel a little bit better. Coming up, Brady Shea was not the only Nashville Predators defenseman to make the financial naughty list. We're going to tell you who the other blue liner was that the Athletic says is grossly overpaid. Today's episode is brought to you by our great friends at Game Time. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day, a beautiful evening, and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That is exactly where Game Time comes in. It is the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes that possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for exciting upcoming Major League Baseball games. Or if you want to catch a game a little closer to home, they have great deals on seats to cheer on the Nashville Sounds. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, Emma. Yeah, if you thought that Brady Shea was the shame of the Predators on the list of worst contracts, wait, there's more. That's right. Barry Trotz signed another defenseman to a contract that comes in at number 5 on the worst contracts in the league. And friends, this belongs to Nicolas Hague. Hague, of course, was signed this offseason, a $5.5 million AAV for 4 seasons. The Athletic has his market value listed at 1.5 million. The positive value probability that this is going to turn around and be like a 4%. 4%. Here are the reasons why this contract is viewed this way. Nicolas Hague never played in the top 4. It's not really consistently shown up, and shown off top 4 defenseman abilities. Didn't really have a ton of leverage in free agency and still stumbled into a $5.5 million deal. And basically, Dom said Nashville paid per inch. And we have joked about this, that sometimes the favorite stat for the Nashville Predators is inches above 6 feet. Now, in his defense, Nick Hague is the king size candy bar on Halloween. He is 6'6". But this one, I get the numbers on, Emma. I get why it ranks where it does, but I don't think it's quite 100% the total picture yet. I'm not saying that it's going to pay off, but I'm saying we don't know what we don't know yet.
Yeah, I would agree. Again, please hear what I'm saying when I say that I'm not expecting, I'm not just assuming he's going to jump right in and fit right into this defense and everything's going to go swimmingly and it's going to be no problem at all. I just think that if the last 84 years have taught us anything, it is that fit matters. And
Yes.
you need to see what the fit is with a team, with line mates, with defensive partners, with a system. So much of that matters. Now, I'm big enough to admit I don't know what I don't know. And I cannot project right now how he's going to fit into the Andrew Brunette system because I haven't seen it yet. So it very well could turn out to be a horrible contract and a horrible fit, but it could be better than people expected. And I'm going into this with an open mind, I equal 50-50. It could turn out either way. So I get the reservations, I do, and I share some of them about, primarily that he is being asked to play a much larger role than he had played in Vegas. But then again, I'm just because he hasn't doesn't mean he can't, but he's also going to need to prove it. So,
yeah.
I mean, what is it in order to get something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And so I think that it's well, yeah, of course. It's like when you are applying for summer jobs in high school and it's well, every job requires X years of experience. And it's well, how am I supposed to get experience if no one's going to hire me? And
Yes.
that's kind of how it is. And I get it that people, a lot of fans are well, we don't want to be here to be his training ground. And it's I get it, but you got to start somewhere. And I mean, considering the absolute steaming pile of garbage that was the Nashville Predators defense last season, I don't think that adding Nick Hague is going to make it worse.
That's not going to be what topples the regime, friends.
Yeah, that's not going to be what breaks the camel's back here. So I think that it's just I get it. I do get it. I think that, the term, the AAV, a little high for, but now the stakes are higher, the expectations are higher for him and it's up to him now to level up to those. And I don't want to start out this season by saying, well, he can't, maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't know.
Right. I love what you say about fit matters. And I think that this is so key in so many topics that we talk about when it comes to trades and free agency. It's not necessarily plug and play, fit matters in hockey as in fashion, friends. I mean, that super high-waisted trend. I look like an overfed bridge troll. Like, it is just not for me. Okay. Fit matters. I am a mid-rise girl. I know who I am. The same is true in hockey.
An overfed bridge troll.
Oh, girl, it's just not for me.
Oh,
Super high
I
rise.
can't
What are
wear
we doing?
rompers. I can't wear rompers. It's very upsetting.
Oh,
Just
that's
I don't
terrible.
I have very short legs and a short torso, and it just like it swallows me. I don't
Yeah.
know. It looks weird. I can't do it. It's very upsetting.
Yeah. So again, fit matters. You're
Yes.
welcome that we have shared how that is true in our own personal lives as well.
We're here with the real life application
Real
at the
life
Locked On
application.
Predators podcast. We will
Mhm.
always have some of that for you. Some
We
good
are
real life
not
insight.
we are not selling super high rise swag in the swag store. We're just not. It's
Yeah.
just not for everybody. But here is my point when we talk about Nick Hague. And I understand why people don't like this contract. And this contract really could very easily be one of the worst contracts in the NHL down the road. But I am with you, Emma. We don't know what we don't know. And yes, we are asking Nick Hague to do something we haven't seen him do before, but isn't that how people make the best contract list? Is that they do the thing you didn't think they could do, and so you didn't pay him for it. Now, would I have liked it better if Barry Trotz had paid him the not done it before salary? Yes. But the other side to this for Nick Hague is I think there is something to be said for here is your opportunity, rise to it. Don't know what that's going to look like. I think you're right, Emma. Like, we don't know because we haven't seen it. We don't know yet what that's going to look like. We'll report back through training camp. That's going to be one of the things we're going to be watching are the Nick squared and how they're fitting in. The other thing that I do like about this signing, money aside, because again, I do get why it's a high price. I get the high price, but I do like that Nashville is bringing in somebody in the middle of the age sandwich. You know, this is a 26-year-old guy who has played 364 NHL games. You were getting relatively young, relatively experienced, and Nashville will need that down the line. He may be the third defensive pairing because Tanner Mullendijk or Cameron Reed leapfrogs him, but he's in the age range for a little bit more of the long game. And so for me, you know, I'm cheap. I like a deal. I'm not going to lie. Like, I like a deal. If you tell me you like my outfit, I'm going to tell you if I got it cheap because I'm that girl. I would like it to be a little less money, but this is like, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. Like, give the dude a chance. You know, is it an overpay? Yeah, probably, but give the dude a chance.
Yeah. And I think that point that you're making about he can be part of the now and the not yet. We always talk about one or the other, but like that age range, that the Predators need more guys in that age range to help bridge that gap, and I think he does that. And I, by the way, totally with you on I love a deal. I got it from my mother, and I will always tell you, like, I had to physically stop myself when I was at Bridgestone Arena the night of Keith Urban's bobblehead night, and I passed by Nicole Kidman outside the elevator, and she told me she liked my shoes. And I had to physically stop myself from saying thanks, they were on sale, because I don't think Nicole Kidman cared that my
think
shoes
she
were on
does.
sale. I was like, ma'am, you can buy them at full price. Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
But no, they were obviously, they were my sparkly shoes, obviously.
They're so
But
amazing.
I was so excited to be like, oh my God, yes, I got them on sale. Like, I was so excited to share this little insider tip with someone who absolutely did not need my insider tip at all.
That's so amazing. I
Yeah.
did that over the weekend. I went shopping at my favorite store. It is the Cabby store at the Tanger, whatever they are called, outlets over in Antioch. and it's going out of business. Everything is 75% off. So I came home with like 2 bags full. And instead of like showing my husband the clothes and saying, this is what I'll wear this with, and this goes, I was like, I didn't pay more than $24 for anything. And he was like, okay. But that's just who we are. We like a deal here at Locked On Predators. And we may not have gotten one on Nick Hague, but let's just see what the king size candy bar does. Let's just see. And I think let's just see over the period of the term of his contract, because he may be valuable in ways that don't look as glamorous down the road. And again, may not be worth the price, but we're paying what we're paying. Coming up, we're going to talk about the contract so many people have squawked about. And then Emma and I are going to tell you the contracts that we like, because we really like a deal. Today's episode is brought to you by our great friends at FanDuel. August 26th, mark it on your calendars. It is officially FanDuel Futures Day. It is a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you are calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, friends, August 26th is your moment. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. All right, if we are going to talk about contracts and squawks, 2 things that seem to go together, you got to talk about the Juuse Saros deal. $7.74 million for 8 years, of course, kicking in this season. First of all, I do want to shout out the Nashville Predators and the agents who do things like 7.74, or like Roman Yossi's is 9.059. Like, it is so Taylor Swift numerology, and it just makes me feel great. It brings me great joy. How do you sleep at night knowing we're paying Juuse Saros that for that long?
Like a baby. I sleep like a baby. I love it.
In her romper.
Not in my romper, because it makes my legs look stumpy, but I sleep like a baby, because when you see what goaltending, like how valuable good goaltending is, and I'm so sick of hearing about his last season was his worst season. Okay, it was literally everyone on the team's worst season. So why are we choosing to blame him? Why are we choosing to blame him for all of the struggle? Everyone except Philip Forsberg had a bad year last year. So can we all just acknowledge that? No, I think it's great. I think, again, with the cap going up, as I mentioned before, and with how valuable goaltending is proving to be, and how much teams are willing to overpay for goaltending, and how much other top tier goaltenders are making. And yes, I said top tier. I consider Juuse Saros to be top tier. I think that this is a great deal for them. I really do. And I think that so many teams would kill to have reliable goaltending, and to have it for less than $8 million a year. I love it personally.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
Is it 8 years, and is he going to be hockey ancient, blah, 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 in the last year of the season? Yes, but that's the price of doing business with a franchise player. Now, it's not going to be after the new CBA kicks in. But when this was put together, you gave a franchise player an 8-year deal. You just did. Yeah, I don't lose a lot of sleep over this at all. And people will say, well, he's not been good in the playoffs. He has hardly been to the playoffs, and the teams that he went to the playoffs with were looking around like, hey, y'all, we made the playoffs. So, like, come on.
He looked fantastic, by the way, against Vancouver. So I don't even want to hear it. Yeah. In their most recent trip to the playoffs. But yes, it's like, don't say he's been bad in the playoffs. He's barely been. He's barely been to the playoffs. He's not now like Connor Hellebuck, bad in the playoffs. You can say that. It's happened enough times that you can say that. Juuse Saros, no. Yeah. You don't have enough of a sample size.
Don't get me started about Jake Ottinger and former Dallas Stars head coach. Because what were you even doing, dude? Like, bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you. Don't let the door hit you. And it did hit him.
I just full sent it. I was a guest on the DLLS Stars podcast last week. Great show, by the way. They're doing a series called The Other 31, and each episode is, featuring one of the other 31 teams in the league. And so I was there to talk about the Predators, but we talked about that, and I full sent it. I fully called him out, when they asked me how I felt about the Stars, and I said, I think the Stars have a great future. They've got a great goaltender in Jake Ottinger, and maybe with a head coach who doesn't throw him under the bus when he has a bad playoff game, he'll be even better. So
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I watched that episode. I was like, Emma said it out loud, but she ain't wrong. We did, of course, ask our insiders. Let's talk money. What are the contracts that bother you the most? And actually, Brady Shea's was one that came up in the conversation. But when I tell you nothing, I do mean nothing bothers the insiders more than Nashville paying players not to play. And we are talking about Matt Duchene, and we are talking about Kyle Turris. And I mean angst. Matt Duchene is getting just under $6.6 million this year to play against the Nashville Predators. Kyle Turris still making $2 million a year for 3 more seasons. There is something about, hey, we are literally paying money for nothing. And that sticks in the craw.
Yeah, no, Nashville absolutely not the only ones that do it. I mean, Minnesota just got finished paying their massive buyouts for Parise and Suter.
Yep.
And those were wildly unpopular as well. But yeah, I think the Duchene one this year, that hurts. 6.55, that hurts. And he's actively playing against you.
Yeah. And that's 6.55. That gets you a really good player, like, I don't know, like a Matt Duchene.
Yeah.
On your team.
Crazy. I think just a great dream of mine is to be paid millions of dollars to do nothing. That would be I will have made it in life. So anyone who does that, I'm a little jealous. Plus, I also like that every time Kyle Turris's name comes up, I get to make a Bobby Bonilla reference because he really is just that of Nashville.
Yes,
and
he is.
He will be only until 2028. And then
we won't know what to do with ourselves. Like the hand will automatically write the check, just muscle memory.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? If someone paid me $2 million just once, actually, don't even have to do it every year, but like just once, it would solve so many of my problems.
Come on.
Probably all of them, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I get it. It's bad. The Duchene one is bad. I'm not sugarcoating that I've never been a fan of that. Talked about that on the DLLS show too. But at the end of the day, Ryan Johansson's off the books. Matthias Ekholm, who was not getting paid that much anyway, but he's off the books now. Like you've now the buyout charges for the Predators, I think they account for about 9% of the total cap hit. So in the grand scheme of things, not that terrible. And it's going to be way better next year after, when Matt Duchene's only getting paid 1.5 this year's.
Well, and I think we have to keep perspective. You hate to spend that money for a player not playing here, but also Nashville was not going to be like, damn, if we had $6 million back from Matt Duchene, we would have got Mitch Marner. No, they weren't. They weren't going to go out and buy anybody anyway. I mean, like you still don't want to just throw money away, but like, don't feel like Nashville missed out on the savior of the franchise because we were paying Kyle Turris and Matt Duchene.
No, that's a very good point, actually, because this year's free agent class was not it. So it's like the Matt Duchene money is not what's keeping the Predators from going out and getting their franchise saving
Center.
free agent.
Yeah,
No,
their franchise center.
no.
Yeah. When
No.
you look at the contracts on the book, Emma, what is one maybe just kind of under the radar contract that you're like, you know what? I like this contract. Is there a player that you're like, you know what? I like this contract.
I mean, I think 4.5 for Ryan
Girl.
O'Reilly is a really good deal.
Come
For
on.
2 more years of Ryan O'Reilly.
Mhm.
I keep forgetting he's signed through next season too.
Yeah.
Like he's
I
signed
know.
through 26, 27. So I think that's a good deal. This is a very under the radar one. And of course, it's not that much money. So people will say, well, of course you think it's good. But like the Nick Perbix contract, I think was great. I think it was great because you needed a right shot defenseman. He made a wise decision because the Tampa Bay was not going to pay him that much to come back. They couldn't afford to pay him that much to come back. And he knew how valuable he was as a right shot defenseman. So he went and hit the market. And so they still, that was the Predators' greatest need this offseason was the right side of the defense. They addressed it and they did it for less than $3 million a year. I like it.
That's great. Here's one that I like that I know fans are going to be like, shut up. Whatever. Me and my bridge troll pants don't care. I really like the Michael McCarron deal. And I know, like, I'm emotionally bracing for the fact that if this team stinks, he may go by the trade deadline, but you're paying him less than $1 million. And yes, you're paying $1 million for a fourth line guy that doesn't score. Michael McCarron, first of all, he does need to score more, and he can score more. The fourth line can score more, and I want to see that this season. But Michael McCarron is reliable, and we lost that when we lost Colton Sisson. Mr. Potato Head was like old steady. Oh, he's gone. Now we've got Michael McCarron. It's kind of the bottom six, old steady. You know exactly what you're going to get from him. Michael McCarron is somebody who is an energy guy. He is not afraid to step up. He has that, and I can't remember what they call it, but he has that protective instinct for his teammates, which is valuable. And he is a locker room guy. And you can like it or you can lump it. But I think Michael McCarron for $900,000. Yup.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
That's what you pay him for.
If you think that's an overpay for a fourth line center, then I don't know what to tell you. Like
you like a bargain too. You got your shoes on sale.
Yeah, if you think that that's an overpay, DM me and I will tell you where I got my sparkly shoes on sale. How about that?
You can run into Nicole Kidman there.
Yes. Paying full price.
That's so funny. Yeah. I mean, look, you pay what you pay. The cost of doing business rises and falls every offseason. It rises and falls based on where a team is at in their trajectory towards championship contention. There are some bad contracts on the Nashville books. We're going to see what happens with some of these young players as they get closer. Speaking of young players, hey, Luke Evangelista, want to sign a deal? Just throwing it out there, big guy. We just keep waiting. Still waiting. Yep. Still waiting. Anyway, something to keep your eye on. And when Luke Evangelista signs a deal, Emma and I will bring you all of that news and break down that deal as well on a future episode. Hopefully soon to be future episode. Come on, Luke.
Give us something.
Throw us a bone, friend.
We're talking about Kyle Turris. We need some fresh material here.
That's right.
Sign a contract.
We want to talk about what we're paying you, Luke. Come on, dude. Sign a deal. You are worth all the pennies in the world when it comes to covering the Nashville Predators and the NHL. So will you let everyone know where they can find all of your work? And friends, most of it is free. It's a deal better than her sparkly shoes. Where can they find you, Emma?
That's right. You can find me here. You can find me on social media, and you can find me yapping about the rest of the NHL on the Hockey News weekly show or bi-weekly show now, the Wraparound, every Monday and Friday.
You can find me on social media wearing my mid-rise jeans, friends. You can find my work with Penalty Box Radio as well. Of course, you can find the podcast at LO_Preds. Predators too. That's going to do it for today's episode of the Locked On Predators podcast. Thanks for making us your first listen of the day. Go out and have a fabulous day. We will see you later this week.